Jadi when we look at when we introduce car branding, we look at our clients sendiri. We realize that a lot of our clients they have never run billboard campaigns. Jadi there's actually benar. They haven't run campaign gitu loh. Jadi there's actually a market fit there. Jadi there's actually a desire for companies maybe not small, some medium enterprise yang pingin jalan out of home campaign tapi terlalu mahal gitu loh. Mereka berasa terlalu mahal dan nggak worth it gitu loh. Makanya when we introduce the vehicle branding, it introduce a new buying option dan it becomes more accessible for people.
Discussion kembali hadir bersama saya Yeni Yusra dan kali ini kita akan berbincang-bincang dengan co-founder Stickearn Archie Carlson. Hi Archie.
Hello, hi Yeni.
How are you Archie?
Good, how are you?
Finally kita bisa ketemuan juga ya setelah janji sebelum pandemik, saat pandemik, dan akhirnya kondisi sekarang mudah-mudahan sudah mulai surut. Dailysocial tertarik untuk mengetahui seperti apa sih bisnis Stickearn saat ini dan challenge-nya saat pandemi. Tapi sebelum kita masuk ke topik discussion, mungkin Archie bisa menjelaskan tanggung jawabnya Archie di Stickearn seperti apa, dan Stickearn itu apa sih sebenarnya?
Sure. Okay, so my name is Archie. I am actually one of co-founders di Stickearn. So the co-founders actually are all friends dari uni. One of them is actually my friend from high school. Jadi udah teman dari umur 12-13 gitu. So currently I hold the position of CEO in Stickearn, dan I oversee essentially most of the major functions in the company, including fundraising, finance, and product and tech gitu. Yeah. Okay. For Stickearn itself, kita awalnya when we entered the market in Indonesia, our focus was on out-of-home industry, out-of-home advertising. We wanted to introduce a new form of advertising to the market, which is the vehicle branding. But since we've operated for the last 4 years, kita udah mulai berkembang lah, udah masuk ke different media di out-of-home advertising sendiri, including one of which is digital out-of-home, yang kita berasa akan berkembang pesat ke depannya.
Wow, itu memang before the pandemic itu buzzword yang lagi tren banget ya, out of home digital option. Tapi we talk about the pandemic. How is it the pandemic impacted Stickearn business? Is it roughly decreasing or increasing or not changes whatsoever?
No, actually, the pandemic, it's for us, it's like the typhoon, right? It's like it's hitting us right in the face, right? Because I think for multiple factors. Firstly, of course, the pandemic itself, the first reaction from most companies or even people is security, kan? Uncertainty, security, maunya secure. Yeah, of course, the first thing they would do is they would cut costs and stay safe, gitu loh. Mau survive dulu keluar. So that by itself results in advertisers cutting the budget for advertising, karena that's like the first level of cutting, kan? Kalau budget expenses, kan. The second factor ya tentu of course in the general konsep kita kan di out of home segment for advertising, which is basically dependent on the amount of traffic on the road, dependent on berapa banyak orang di jalan, berapa macet gitu kan, which is actually basically very bad impact for us because ada PSBB, there's a lockdown, so then there's no advertising that's possible. Of course the last factor is basically the last factor is affecting all of advertising lah. Essentially is on the consumer side, even consumers, not just businesses, juga watching out for their expenses kan. They also monitor their expenses. What if kayak mereka di lay off atau ada salary cut dan lain-lain kan. Jadi overall ya tentu advertisers juga pikir, is it a good time to advertise now when maybe the consumer don't have that spending power at this present moment gitu. So for us, the pandemic itself was definitely a very big hit for us in terms of sales. But we were quite fortunate. I think kita lumayan blessed, and we are very happy and fortunate that we just raised our round right before the pandemic hit, gitu ya. And for us, we also have this mentality that whatever hits you, whatever challenges that hits you, or whatever problem that hits you, it's really an opportunity for us to grow, gitu. So of course ya pasti ada periode-periode stres dan susahnya ya. Tapi after that period, we focus back into ourselves, like internalizing it and realizing like what can we do that not just to survive through the pandemic, tapi juga apa yang kita bisa kerjakan untuk bisa grow and become stronger after the pandemic gitu ya. So we're happy to say that over the pandemic we've done a lot of improvements from the tangible dan intangible side of the company. So the intangible side ya tentu like the processes, the culture dan lain-lain. We try to improve them internally so that people are just more productive and more happy in the company. And then of course the tangible one adalah kita punya focus on product development. Jadi like you said, digital out of home was the hot thing sebelum pandemic kan. Jadi kita realize that, and we feel like in the coming 2 or 3 years, digital out of home is not going to be just a passing word anymore. Tapi it's basically going to be like the primary buying models for out of home segment. So we should ride the wave, and instead of like being behind the wave kan. Nanti selesai pandemic, kalau orang-orang udah launch digital out of home product, kita belum siap, kita malah jadi nggak bisa compete with the competitor, right? Gitu. So we doubled down on efforts to develop all the digital out of home technologies. So that's what happened during the pandemic for us.
One thing that yang saya lihat when it comes to traffic in Indonesia during the pandemic, the traffic is not slowing down. Is it, correct me if I'm wrong, right? I mean, is this something that benefit for you guys to implement the business? Karena Indonesia beda dengan negara lain, kayaknya di jalan tetap ramai gitu saat pandemik. Dan apa perubahan yang dilakukan oleh Stickearn to adapting these changes?
Yeah, good question. So I think actually from the pandemic itself, for us, there's a couple of phases. So there's the initial phase, maybe the first initial 3 to 4 months yang kayak berat banget. Because basically every company is
stay home.
Uncertain, panic. Jadi orang kayak nggak tahu what's gonna happen next. So basically everybody just cut. So we approach clients and they're like, jangan dulu deh, kita stop dulu deh. Gitu. And even we have clients yang udah jalan campaign-nya, dia juga minta untuk pause campaign-nya juga. But over maybe like after the 4 months after PSBB dan lockdown di lift, we tried to go to clients again, and they're more receptive, they're more open. But the question is, who wants to start spending first? And they start asking for data. Can you prove that there's more traffic now? Can you prove that there is a lot of people outside now? Gitu kan. And what we did was exactly what we did previously. We just focused on the technology. Jadi kita created technology where we can measure the traffic instantaneously. Jadi sekarang kalau klien tanya kita, di Bandung sekarang trafficnya gimana ya? We can go on our system and just pull out the data within like a couple of minutes gitu. We already know the traffic. Yeah. So then all of this report we pull out and we provide it to the client. Nih udah mulai jalan nih, trafficnya udah mulai rame nih. And it really because we start seeing recovery coming in around July. Of course, not to pre-COVID levels, but at least there's some recovery. There's still some spending versus like yang awal-awal yang completely, down, like zero.
Yes. Okay. So good for you then, Archie. In terms of target, can you share what is the end goal when company decided to do the advertising using the technology that Stickearn is provided? Is it customer acquisition, sales, or just brand awareness?
Actually, so from our side, that question itself is good because there's also a lot of facet towards answering that question, right? For us, actually, our company vision is actually making advertising intelligent, accessible, sama impactful. And we didn't have this vision when we first started the company. When we first started the company, we really just wanted to create this new advertising channel for people, gitu loh. But when we really looked at the value that we bring into the market, we realized that those are the 3 things that really create impact to the market, gitu. So what is it that's intelligence kan? Intelligence adalah the measurement technology, the data-centric, the data-driven, ROI-driven advertising. So all of those is something that we introduced when we first launched our car branding business. Sebelumnya, if you look at the market, out-of-home campaigns are being run only by proof of play atau proof of tayang. Jadi advertisers bilang, saya mau jalan billboard, udah tayang iklannya di foto, dikirim balik ke advertiser ya gitu. Oh, ini udah tayang iklannya gitu. There's no metrics at all. And you know that the growth of digital advertising, the requirements for data is actually increasing. There's more and more performance-based advertising that's expected from advertisers. Kayak mau tahu dong impressionnya berapa, mau tahu dong conversionnya berapa, gitu-gitu kan. Which is actually, so intelligence is actually one of our vision and the one that we feel can transform the whole industry, not just like in terms of sales or anything, but we really want to transform the industry as a whole. And then the second thing is accessibility. So accessibility from our standpoint or our view is really about how easy it is to buy out of home and how affordable it is to buy out of home. Berapa murah dan berapa affordable. And we look at the market itself. Kalau we look at all the billboards yang tayang di Jakarta or across of Indonesia, kebanyakan yang jalanin iklan adalah the big corporation.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why, because satu sekali jalan iklan itu it's really expensive. It's really expensive. Kayak one billboard could cost you upside of 200 juta sebulan or 300 juta sebulan. And the main problem is really not because of the price only. It's because the price itself is justifiable karena kan the out of home asset itself untuk investasi di out of home itu lumayan mahal kan. Jadi the price itself is actually justifiable. Tapi the main problem is the buying model. Because sekarang untuk orang jalan advertising di billboard, they have to buy with only one buying model, which is per location per bulan, which is restrictive kan. So when we launch our car branding, our vehicle branding, it introduces a very flexible and affordable option. People can choose whether they want to run one car, 20 cars, 50 cars, 1,000 cars. And it's also it's also spread out, right? There's an increased number of reach, increased number of impression. Jadi when we look at when we introduce car branding, we look at our clients sendiri. We realize that a lot of our clients they have never run billboard campaigns. Jadi there's actually benar. They haven't run campaign gitu loh. Jadi there's actually a market fit there. Jadi there's actually a desire for companies maybe not small, some small and medium enterprise yang pingin jalan out of home campaign tapi terlalu mahal gitu loh. Mereka berasa terlalu mahal dan nggak worth it gitu loh. Makanya when we introduce the vehicle branding, it introduce a new buying option dan it becomes more accessible for people gitu. And that's not kita nggak berhenti di sana. We don't want to stop there. What we want to do is with the programmatic digital out of home, we want to introduce various buying models. So instead of people having to buy per location per month basis, they can buy per hour, they can buy per day, they can buy per location base, dan this will help a lot karena contoh misalkan there is a fast food chain misalnya yang ada breakfast menu, they're trying to advertise a breakfast menu. So why do they have to advertise during the night time? Ya kan? They're only advertising a breakfast menu. They should only target the morning segment, right? Morning audience doang.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So then instead of spending you buy it for the whole month and for every single time slot, you only buy for the slot for the whole month. So you can buy cheaper and more targeted and more effective. Yes. And then when you introduce like the different buying models, like basically daily, we had an interesting story where when we launched our daily buying for our mobile truck LED, when we first launched it, yang approach kita tuh lucu banget, is a Korean fan club.
K-pop bukan?
K-pop fan.
Wow.
Mereka book truck kita untuk 3 hari. Which is it will never happen if it's still the normal buying model yang you have to book for one whole month kan. Mereka cuma fan club biasa, mana mungkin bisa kumpulin dana dari fan clubnya untuk beli satu billboard satu bulan gitu kan. Yeah, so I think with accessibility, our goal is not just to introduce the existing one or just doing the existing model of accessibility, but we want to introduce new technologies that can democratize how you buy out of home advertising. So from individuals to SME to multinational companies to big companies, corporations, semuanya bisa beli out of home in a more effective way gitu. Nah, impactful itu juga sama, is actually tied together with intelligence dan accessibility. Impactful basically means that the ad spending that you spend result in a better ROI kan, which is exactly what I explained previously before. Kamu jualan breakfast menu, why do you want to have your advertising run waktu dinner time? Kan nggak gitu masuk kan gitu kan. Or let's say you want to advertise a specific product in a specific location, tapi iklan kamu jalannya di lokasi-lokasi yang jauh-jauh dari lokasi itu. Kan nggak gitu make sense juga gitu. Jadi makanya location-based advertising is one of the triggers for our programmatic advertising as well. Gitu. So for us when we started Stickearn, of course there's changes in vision as your company grows. Pasti ada perubahan, but when we initially started, we just wanted to introduce a new interesting advertising option. But now our vision and our plan become a lot bigger. Kita not just want to, of course, monetize it. So of course is what we want juga lah. Tapi we really want to transform the whole out of home industry just to make it a lot better than how it is now. Gitu.
Okay, personalization ya. Do you think that kind of concept out of home is applicable in Indonesia, because Indonesian people tend to like in your face advertising instead of they have to choose themselves when it comes to advertising, dibandingkan ketika mungkin kalau kita online yang tidak relevan masuk gitu. Do you think that is it the reason that Stickearn is well established until now in Indonesia? That kind of concept, that kind of template.
Well, out of home, as you said, is one of the biggest benefit of out of home is awareness. But the second one is definitely being able to avoid people from blocking your ads, kan?
Yes.
I mean, experience. I mean, I'm also a very heavy YouTube user. Then I
Yes.
always skip ads. I don't never watch the ads.
Me too.
Yeah. Jadi out of home itu basically is a channel where people cannot avoid it. Gitu.
Yes.
So I think for a lot of advertisers, they see the value in that. They feel that, you know, especially when you're competing with so many different brands, you want to be the first top of mind for the consumer, kan? And the one that is the first one that creates awareness is out of home, gitu sih. So, but I also think that out of home by itself shouldn't be considered a single medium. I think that in future, or even right now, it's happening already that increasingly it's an omni-channel advertising because to me, I think out of home it's good by itself for awareness purpose. Tapi when it's done together with other mediums, there's an amplification factor, multiple amplification factor, and there has been a lot of research on this, including from IAB or Nielsen, that shows that if you run out of home and digital, the result of your digital campaign is actually a lot better juga. There's amplification factor itu. Yeah, jadi I think it's definitely one of the reasons why kita people still advertise with us, and even like I think I'm not sure if you've seen a lot of the FMCG brands advertising on our cars. Yeah, that's actually, you know, a lot of FMCG brands, not a lot of them don't advertise as prominently as some of the more well-known brands.
Yeah,
the smaller one don't really advertise in an out-of-home space. Tapi with our channel, they really liked it, and they keep advertising every year just to promote their new product and new brands, just to keep the, you know, awareness level kayak, oh ada nih produk ini nih dari perusahaan ini gitu.
Okay, saat ini sudah ada beberapa channel ya, not only with cars but also motorcycle, by using a certain community like college students, by using their laptop, their, you know, helm to promote brands. Is it something that Stickearn will do in the near future, or you are only focusing on cars for the time being?
So we always look at different channels, and we always try to explore different channels because the different channels all provide a very different unique value proposition. Even digital out-of-home space sendiri, they also provide a different unique value proposition. Contoh misalkan a digital out-of-home screen yang ditaruh di lounge atau di tempat tunggu, the effect is that the dwell time is a lot higher. People actually stay there for a longer time, kan 5 minutes, 10 minutes, versus like billboard, which is maybe the reach and the impression jauh lebih besar, tapi people just pass it for 15 seconds, gitu kan. So every channel has its own unique value proposition. So whenever we look at the product, when we want to increase the product that we offer to clients, we look at how is this different from our existing product, gitu. So like for example, when we have smart vending machines, which is a full screen LCD screen on our vending machine. We introduce it as a drive is a conversion factor or a driving for trial factor. Jadi we've run a couple of sampling campaigns for our advertisers. Jadi mereka mau introduce their brand direct to consumer, dan mereka mau orang cobain barangnya. We tell them use our vending machine, and then you can share your product to people, and you get feedback about the impact, about how they like the product, gitu. So that's a very unique offering compared to just car branding. Vehicle branding. Kalau vehicle branding, the unique value proposition is a lot of reach, a lot of randomized reach, kan. Because mobilnya kemana-mana kan, putar-putar terus. Kalau LED billboard, it's static, cuma di lokasi itu doang, tapi it's really targeted kan. So you want to specifically target that segment, that area, ya, you use LED billboard gitu. So yes, we do look at various channels to increase our offerings, depending on what kind of unique value proposition they provide to the advertisers. Gitu.
Saat ini kan Stickearn bisa dibilang kompetitornya banyak ya. Even Gojek have their own platform for this out-of-home technology. What Stickearn strategy to differentiate with other players?
That's a very tough question, but very.
Your competitor is Gojek. So what is your strategy?
Yeah, very good question. I think Okay, I like. Okay.
Is it cheaper price or more data focus or something else maybe?
Yeah. I think the first thing that I would want to put across is that there's people always feel that it's a zero sum game, kan? That one competitor have to beat the other competitor to take over everything. But I think it's really proven that a couple of players can exist in the market, just like billboard players, kan? Billboard players juga there's over 20 billboard owners because sometimes even clients, they would like to run campaigns with multiple vendors. They don't want to run with one vendor juga gitu ya. So yeah, because they also don't want to park their risk into one basket kan, gitu kan. Yeah. So I think to us the competition, as long as healthy competition, is definitely good for the market because we always continue to innovate. Just like Gojek is doing the programmatic digital out of home with their vehicles, we are also looking to do that because we want to be together. Kayak ready to tackle the same market and also with the same technology gitu. Kita nggak mau behind lah in terms of technology. So, but if you talk about how we differentiate ourselves, I think firstly, of course, some of our competitor is only serving one specific product, so it's probably more of like a niche market. Whereas we actually provide multiple very varied option. I think I would think that we are probably the vendor that provides the most out of home option. We have from cars, motor, truck, angkot, kapal terbang, LED truck, LED truck, LED billboard, static billboard, vending machines, elevator screens, and all of basically any out of home segment or out of home assets. We actually do have them to sell to the advertisers gitu. Some of them is our own, some of them we work with closely with vendors. Tapi I think that's our unique selling point lah di sana.
Itu based on demand atau Stickearn punya business analyst yang memprediksi atau melakukan research terhadap channel-channel baru di Stickearn?
Both of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, both of them. So some is very demand driven. For example, yang interesting is bajai, ikan di bajai. Ya, itu is purely demand driven. So tiba-tiba ada yang minta kayak ada nggak bisa ikan di bajai, ya kita cari, bisa nggak cari?
Wow.
And we did it. Gitu. Yeah. But then there's also some yang we feel memang kita ada business analystnya and like we explore kayak which one is like which one we should go into. And even when we go into a certain product, we also try to think about why is it valuable, right? Is it scalable? Is it scalable or is it like you can only grow to a certain size or gimana gitu sih?
Okay. I think it's applicable also in India, yeah, bajai. Maybe you're planning to go beyond Indonesia next soon, maybe, or Indonesia is only the priority for Stickearn for now on.
I think
at
present, yes.
Okay.
We wouldn't close the door to expand to other markets because of course that we have very good relationship with our partners who are also operating other markets as well. But right now we'll just wait and see when the pandemic is over how we can introduce new products into other markets as well and also to Indonesia juga gitu.
Okay, last question, Archie. What next for out-of-home advertising? Is it going to be beyond than recent technology, or in terms of technology, is there any new features or insight that you can implement it, or so far the current technology is working, so doesn't need to add more?
Yeah, good question. I think technology-wise, there's still so many things that can be developed, right? Even in a digital space, which technology is probably ahead by multiple years, there's still new developments in the technology. For out of home, there's actually a lot of homework in terms of improvements in terms of technology. To me, when we look at the market in the industry, we think digital out of home adalah something that's gonna be the primary buying option in the 2 or 3 years down the road. How we know this is because when we communicate with advertisers, there's a lot of factors that's pushing it towards there. The first one is of course digital out of home provides agility sama flexibility. Jadi dulunya kalau misalnya we want to run campaigns, advertisers have to prepare that materi kayak 2 or 3 weeks in advance. Because materinya udah jadi, harus di print dulu, harus proof printing dan lain-lain, terus baru dipasang di canvas. Kalau mau ganti materi, it takes another 2 weeks lagi. With digital out of home, it's very agile and flexible, right? You can change the materi the next day. You can change it like within the next hour, the next minute. Anytime you want to change it, you can change it. the flexibility of the buying option is also something yang very attractive to advertisers as well. So we've run a campaign, a demo campaign for our mobile LED where we have dynamic ad serving. So when the vehicle go to specific target location, the ads will change the materi. And this is something that's interesting for advertisers as well. There's a flexibility there. Kalau misalnya yang static, how can you change the materi? There's no way to change the materi anytime you want to change it, right? And then of course, digital out of home provides a very creative medium. So instead of static, there's video. It's more attractive, more pulling. People actually remember video better. And then of course, measurement and data is something that definitely still needs to evolve in terms of technology, because unlike digital advertising, it's not a one-to-one medium. Kalau digital advertising, one-to-one medium, you can get the cookie data and all that from your phone or from your website visit. But for digital out of home, you don't have that, gitu kan. So even the measurements and data in the digital out of home space, there's a couple of layers also. The layers juga banyak from different data sources as well. It could be deterministic, it could be probabilistic juga. So deterministic is like very specific. Oh, maybe you work with some mobile operator or some application, and you know like who are the ones that's looking at your ad. But that's not scalable because not everybody, you cannot get everybody's data or everybody's impression there. But with probabilistic, maybe you can combine it together with computer vision or something like that, where you can estimate kira-kira who is viewing your bill or ads, right? And then of course, digital out of home also provide the targeting. Targetingnya jadi kayak morning traffic, location based, all of those. And finally is the efficiency in terms of planning and buying. So previously, to plan a campaign is pretty hard because you don't have any data. You don't have data. If let's say you are running a campaign in, let's say Sudirman, and Sudirman there is like 2-3 billboard. Terus 2-3 billboard vendornya datang ke kamu bilang, my billboard is better. And then you're confused, right? Because loh, you're on the same stretch of road kok, yang mana yang better? Orang jalannya sama kok, gitu kan? Ya, jadi with our platform, with our technology, we can actually tell you which one is better, because the how we measure which billboard is better is not just through the traffic itself, tapi it's dependent on the size of the billboard, the height of the billboard, dan the speed of the traffic in front of the billboard juga. Kalau speednya lebih rendah, tentu orang bisa lihat iklan lebih banyak kan, which means it's better. So previously, planning is very, very difficult. So I think there's definitely a lot of growth in the digital out of home space or out of home space in general, and technology is really what's going to drive the growth and what's going to drive the whole change in the industry. And I think that's where it's really, really exciting for us.
Looking forward for the next update and development from Stickearn. Karena personally, I don't mind with out of home advertising because ketika traffic jadi kayak ada hiburan gitu loh, Archie. Oh, ada ini. Jadi ingat gitu kan. Yeah. Dibandingin kalau di digital gitu kan, tiba-tiba iklan yang gak relevan muncul gitu kan, malah jadi mengganggu, intrusif. Tapi kalau out of home kok gue ngelihatnya lebih subtle gitu ya, lebih sopan gitu. Halo, ada kita loh. Gue ngeliatnya sih kayak gitu.
Ya. Benar.
Oke. Thank you banget Archie. What next nih untuk Stickearn nih? Ada rencana untuk ekspansi, fundraising, atau so far masih stealth mode aja?
We're just focusing internally to develop our product. We're gonna launch it soon, around Q4. Maybe we'll launch it Q4 of this year. Jadi we're looking forward for the launch, and as the pandemic situation recovers, we're looking forward to really capture the market with our new product.
Oke, nanti gue follow up lagi ya. Gue korek-korek lagi tuh apa tuh new product yang mau di launching.
Boleh.
Thank you banget Archie atas waktunya untuk menyediakan waktu dengan Dailysocial, dan gue dapat insight banyak banget, dan semoga audiens dari Dailysocial juga bisa mengenal lebih jauh tentang Stickearn ya. Sukses buat Stickearn, ditunggu lagi update terbarunya dari Archie ya.
Terima kasih. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you Archie.